Hello there, and welcome to Wilson's Weekend Waffle. And today, the Weekend Waffle is with.
Hello, Ian. I'm Mark Dransfield. I work in learning and teaching development, and I manage the technology enhanced learning team.
Hello, Mark, and welcome to Wilson Waffling. So, my first question is, what is your role or job in the university?
Yeah, I'm quite fortunate to manage a small team that's focus is really about the use of technology in education. Most students will come across us because we're the team that sort of sits behind Moodle, which of course is one of the primary systems that students engage with whilst they're here at the university. We're not necessarily the guys that sort of sit in the background coding away and hide in a corner. And we're more of the guys who get out and work with our academic staff to make sure that they're using Moodle in the way they want to use it to facilitate students' learning. And we also do quite a lot of work focused directly with students. So we'll do first line support and make sure that students are all happy using the system. We also do a lot of stuff to do with other technologies, peripheral type technologies, so things like the use of tablet devices or mobile devices. We work quite a lot with staff to use iPads in the classroom. We also manage other systems like Mahara, the e-portfolio system, and another system called Turnitin that students might be aware of, which often service, but it also handles things like electronic assignment submission, marking, and feedback. So there's a whole range of technology-centered projects that we are kind of have always got an involvement with. And we very much see ourselves as advocates of technology as far as our staff are concerned. So we really try and work with our academic colleagues to use technology effectively.
And can I say you work really well with the academic staff? So, how do you get your role or job here?
Well, I left university actually and went to work as a web designer and developer for probably about 5 or 6 years before I decided that actually I didn't really want to spend the rest of my life sat behind a computer monitor bashing out loads of code and designing web pages. I really liked to speak to people and be involved with people. So at that stage I decided to take a career break, took the opportunity to go travelling, and then managed to get a place on PGCE, which was actually at York St John. So I studied the PGCE in 2005. And in fact, I think there's only one member of staff who currently works at York St John who taught me. Oh no, two, maybe two. So there's a few legacy staff who might remember me.
Perhaps that could be the quiz
Yeah,
to see if people can guess who is still actually
who
teaching
they
at the
are, yeah.
university.
Um, and from then, having done the PGCE to train and teach upper primary, I wanted to me a kind of halfway house, a link between the technology side, which I had a vested interest in and had developed a skill base in, plus my newfound love of education and technology in terms of pedagogic approaches and uses. Um, so an opportunity came up at York St John as a learning technologist, and from then on I was able to sort of progress my career because my manager at the time left and I eventually got his role, which is where I've been ever since. So that's kind of a long route round to where I am today.
Thank you for that. I think that's one of the most in-depth responses we've had for that question. So, moving on, how does your role impact or relate to the students?
Yeah, well, we're kind of not at the coal face, as a lot of people say. We're sort of the people who sit maybe one or two levels behind that. I think a lot of our impact comes through our work with our academic staff. So trying to introduce a range of different technologies that will have an impact on the way our students learn. In your subject area, ITE, for example, my excellent colleagues, in particular Daniel Mackley, has been doing a lot of work with you in terms of using iPads in the classroom and what the benefits and affordances of mobile technologies might be in terms of the student experience. So there are sort of operational projects like that, and also our sort of bread and butter in terms of the student experience and the impact on the students is making sure that the VLE and our e-portfolio systems really meet the students' needs. So we want to make sure that the VLE looks good, that it works properly, that it facilitates core things like e-submission marking and feedback, those high-stakes things that students really care about. So they're the types of things really that that we get involved with on a day-to-day basis, and I suppose they're the types of things that really demonstrate an impact on the students and their experience.
And of course, Moodle's just had an upgrade, and it's a nice new design.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that is actually one of the things we really try and make sure that, because so quickly these things can look out of date. I know it's difficult for our academic staff to kind of accept the change that happens pretty regularly in terms of interface designs and changes, but when we have students who come and leave the university within that 3-year period, you know, when we've got first years starting every academic year, then you know they don't need different, and so they need to see interfaces and sites and experience functionality that they are used to and that they expect. So we have to make sure we kind of are conscious of that and we meet that expectation.
Which I feel you do really well. So the next question is, what would you do if you weren't doing this job? And obviously you've been a web designer or developer and a teacher. So what job would you be doing?
Yeah. Well, I do have aspirations at some stage in the future to do some kind of research degree. So I'd quite like to go and do sort of PhD or something similar, and maybe do a little bit more teaching myself. If I was to move away entirely from this kind of side of things, I think I'd really quite like to do something practical, something outdoors. What it would be, I'm not quite sure. I've always been interested in sports, so maybe some kind of sports coaching or something like that, something make a difference in terms of sports and children at sort of grassroots level.
That's brilliant. So moving away from the stereotypical view of a web developer then and getting outside and involving sport and activities. So next question is, what would you change about education?
This is one of the questions when you sent me the list that I thought, that is a tricky one. I've had a little think about it. One of the things I would quite like to see more of is more of a focus on real life skills. I'm trying to see our children as, rather than concentrating on numeracy, literacy, those types of things, and I'm not saying they're not important, because of course they are, but I'd like to see a focus on getting the children outside, telling them how to make fire, how to make tents, how to make sure that they've got cover, and you know, lots of practical skills, although they don't necessarily in this day and age have a real world application. I think it's really good for children to be able to get outdoors and do those types of things. I saw a program, you know, that Gareth Malone, he does the choir and all that type of stuff, and he went into that school, and his focus was on bringing the children outside and educating them outside, getting them around campfires, doing the numeracy and literacy stuff, but basing it somewhere other than a nice warm cozy classroom. So there's that type of thing, and also trying to educate children in terms of life skills, how to present, how to be confident in themselves, all those types of things that are a little bit more tacit, and maybe you develop them as a more mature person, but introducing that to students and children at an earlier age, I think really might just shift a little bit of emphasis from the constantly academic type focus that we have.
A real emphasis there on life skills. So, almost the last question. If you knew the correct answer to any question, what would that question be? Have you thought about that?
Oh, this is where I get serious because I thought about this one too. And obviously, there's lots of philanthropic questions. What would be the secret of world peace, or what would be the cure for cancer? All those types of things. I think they would probably obviously go without saying if that was a to grant that type of wish. But for me, one of the things that sort of puzzles me in this day and age is where are those people that go missing? Um, Claudia Lawrence and people like that, Madeleine McCann. If somebody could tell me the answer to where those people were and why, for whatever reason, they're not traceable, they've just gone, then I would like to know that answer, because I think that would solve a lot of heartache and mystery and puzzle for a lot of people. So sorry to get serious.
No, that's not a problem at all. We can get serious here as well. So thank you for that. So just before you go, I have one more question. I hear that you have a secret drawer, and I was just wondering, what's in this secret drawer of yours?
This is top. This is classified. This is no, well, not really. My secret drawer is kind of a little place in my office that I delve into on a regular basis, and it's usually stocked with quality deals from places like Tesco or Poundland, and it revolves around things that are bad for you. Usually chocolate and crisps. If you were to open that drawer, you would find caramels, Snickers, Mars bars, all kinds of stuff. If you're a chocoholic, that's where to come.
So that's definitely invitation for all you chocoholics.
And if they can find my office and then locate my drawer and then find the hidden key to get in there, then they're most welcome to it.
Thank you for that. So, finally, can you just tell us, do you have any blogs, or can we follow you on Twitter or anything like that?
Yeah, the Technology Enhanced Learning team, we can be followed on our handle, which is at @mahoodleySJ. No doubt you'll be able to pop that up when you edit the...
And I'll add that to the screen somewhere.
Just here somewhere. Over here, if you want to follow Phil Vincent, he is on @PhilVincent. And if you want to follow Daniel Mackley, he's on @DanielMackley. If you want to follow me, I'm on @Dranners. So any of those, you'll be able to follow us, and we are.
Do you have a blog where people can find you?
Yeah, we have a blog which is blog.yorksj.ac.uk/Moodle, and that will get you to our Technology Enhanced Learning blog and links from there to our iPad blog as well. So yeah, lots of ways in which people can get in touch with us, but we also welcome people to come up the spiral stairs in Temple Hall, knock on our doors, try and find our drawers, and come and say hello and get involved with us. And so we don't want to hide away in our little offices. We're happy to speak to students and our academic colleagues too.
So thank you very much for those great answers, and thank you for being part of Wilson Waffling.
Thank you for having me.
So have fun, and I'll catch you later.
Bye.